Sports Central. We're talking bracketology. We're going 1 through 16 in order and where we have them seated based on the NMAA criteria. Charles, if you break the criteria down, it's really easy to try to explain. A lot of people still don't understand
I was about to
it,
say,
right?
you would think it is, and there's still people with arguments
but you take 6 criteria and you just take 2 teams and you compare the criteria and you can get seedings here, and that's where we're going. So we went 1 through 7, and we saved 8, 9, 10 because it is a 3-way tie. And when you look at it, Las Cruces, they're district champs. They got a great record. They beat West Mesa head-to-head in those criteria. That's if they're ahead of them in the coaches poll, which we project they are. West Mesa easily beats Sandia, and Sandia easily beats Las Cruces. So when you take all 3 of them, Charles, and compare the criteria, it comes out in favor to West Mesa. So the West Mesa Mustangs we have slotted in at the 8th seed because their max preps ranking is higher than both teams. They have the head-to-head win against Sandia. Sandia has the head-to-head win against Las Cruces. It works out where West Mesa wins the bulk of the criteria when you compare all 3 teams. So that's why we have them at 8. I know William Benjamin's not happy. Las Cruces fans have been very adamant to me about how they do not think they'll get the 10 seed, but every time I look at it, every time I try to help Las Cruces out, the math doesn't favor them.
And what didn't help them out was not winning that game against Oñate. I thought if they would have won that game, it would have gave them a little bit more fuel to their argument. Yeah. And West Mesa helped themselves a lot in the beginning of the season. They beat some big-time programs.
Well,
beating that Carlsbad team.
District championship
Exactly.
wins.
They beat quality teams, so that's their argument. Yeah, they slipped up a little bit in district, but overall resume, the Mustangs got the job done.
So Mustangs at 8. That means the Sandia Matadors then go to 9, and then, sorry, Las Cruces, but every way we look at it, still have them as a 10, and people think we're crazy, but we're just trying to do what we think the NMAA will do, not what we think is right. We're just trying to predict this bracket, and then when you look at it, Las Cruces at 10, Charles, if you move along, Cibola still comfortably at an 11. It's funny because they have lost a ton in a row. They lost a couple of their great players, but Cibola has really good wins at the beginning of the season, especially their max preps ranking still so high. So the Cougars right now, we still have at an 11 seed, which is astonishing compared to their losing streak that they're on right now.
It's astonishing, but as I mentioned earlier, the entirety of your season is what you should be judged off. They played some tough games. They won some tough games. They lost some tough games. But at the end of the day, the teams that are below them right now, they are better than resumes-wise. I just can't make an argument for Gadsden. I can't make an argument for Oñate. Even Rio Grande, they came strong lately, but overall, it's just not enough.
Oñate had a huge win that you mentioned, won the district tournament down south, beats Las Cruces. They beat Gadsden 3 times this season. So they finish above Gadsden. We have it. I mean, they win in max preps. They win in head-to-head. They win in basically everything that you need to win in. So congratulations to Oñate. They have jumped all the way from out of the bubble last week to a 12 seed overnight, Charles. Oñate. Then we have Gadsden at 13. And then this is interesting. As of right now, El Dorado Eagles slot in at 14. Coach Roy Sanchez, though, has to be nervous because the game tonight between the El Dorado Eagles and the La Cueva Bears, in my opinion,
it's a
mathematically, it is a playoff game. Winner is in, loser is out.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think both coaches know this. So tonight, expect, number one, it's a rivalry. Number 2, you're playing for a playoff spot. It's probably going to be the game of the night. It's going to be one of those crazy
neck and neck
buzzer
max
beaters.
Preps. They're both 11 and 14. El Dorado holds the edge over La Cueva right now, head-to-head.
Barely,
El Dorado has beat them twice. La Cueva has only beat El Dorado once. So that is the only edge that El Dorado has right now. La Cueva wins it, and La Cueva will finish above El Dorado, and El Dorado will be on the outside.
I mean, you played an entire season, and if you're Frank and you're Coach Roy, you're saying, at least we gave ourselves a chance to get in, because in the beginning, it wasn't looking too bright for any of the teams. We were thinking they were just going to get one team in from that district, whoever won the district championship. Now they're going to get in 2. They have a chance to right the ship, so to speak. So I'm excited to see what happens tonight. But then with that, now you leave Rio Grande and Atrisco just skating in, right, Adam?
Well, Rio Grande's going to be in, and the reason why is because they finished above Atrisco Heritage. By rule, they have to be seated above them. So Rio Grande is going to get in. Coach Sean Mendes has won 4 of his last 5 games, and their finish above Atrisco is huge. Coach Adrian Ortega now, I said he was safe just because of Oñate's run and Rio Grande's run. He's looking less safe. on the edge right now. So then we go El Dorado 14, Rio Grande slots in at 15. Trisco has a resume that probably could
That's
be 11
their
or 10.
saving grace. That is their
but they
resume.
have to be seated behind Rio Grande, so they are 16. Charles, I still think they're in. Head-to-head, they'll win over La Cueva and El Dorado. So that's why I think they're going to be in, regardless of what happens in that La Cueva-El Dorado game. But right now I have Atrisco at a 16. They can maybe move up as a 15, but Atrisco's going to get a poor seat.
You think so? So you think if La Cueva wins tonight, Atrisco will
be
bump
ahead of
up?
La Cueva.
I can see that happening. But
and so
I don't
would
know.
Rio Grande. Rio Grande
I know
has a
you
head-to-head
have Gaston and Oñate a little higher. I can see Rio Grande jumping up
if you look
above Gadsden
the
also.
problem is these two teams haven't played, okay? Gadsden has a higher district finish and a higher max preps ranking. And so even if Rio Grande wins the coaches poll, it goes to a tiebreaker, which
they're going to be
is
max
prep. So we did the math. Trust me, we did our homework on this. That's why we spent hours literally trying to break this thing down.
And people still argue.
They
still argue.
Hey, you know what? Whatever we say, though, is not set in stone. We are not the NMAA, so who knows? Tuesday night when we're at Cleveland High School breaking this down at 9 o'clock, we could be completely wrong. That's the fun of it all. But
I just got a strange feeling something's going to happen. I just have in Atrisco, you can't be happy knowing that you have to travel to Hobbs. You're in the state tournament, but going to Tasker Arena to play that team, I don't know if that's a good draw.
Look, that's how we have it lined up. We can't wait to break out the brackets tomorrow and really start to break this state tournament down. Coming up next, we've got Marcus Williams of Cleveland High School, the all-star football player, the all-star basketball player. We're going to talk about his team's chances and what he's thinking about here in the future. And then, of course, we've got Joe Abeda, Beyond the Game, a new one coming out, Papa Dog. We'll show you the trailer. We'll talk to Joe. A lot to cover here. It's uSports Central. Happy Monday.